Hey lovelies, just coming on to give you a bit of an update about the full moon eclipse that we've got coming on Friday. Today's Thursday and the moon's going to look amazing tonight because the full moon is actually at its fullest tomorrow morning in the UK at like 9 a.m. So tonight and over the next couple of days, you probably noticed it last night, it was looking incredible. You know, the moon's going to look amazing. You're going to really sort of feel her over the weekend and be able to witness her and just bathe in her moonlight over the weekend. So yeah, it's a great time to come into the weekend. I mean, we've got 4 things to consider during this full moon period. I mean, not just, obviously there's always so much going on with the planets, but just to talk literally about what's going on with the moon and where we're at. So we've got a full moon, which is all about releasing, letting go of stuff that no longer serves us. We've got a partial lunar eclipse, so that is means that it's got more boot behind it. You know, it's like it's shoving us along with more energy than it would be at a normal full moon. So the stuff remains the same in a full moon eclipse. It's just that it's got more energy behind it and it's more potent and powerful. Because it's only a partial full moon eclipse as well, it's not got quite as much shove as it would have if it was like a total lunar eclipse. But there's still a lot of punch packed in it, definitely, for sure. I've been feeling it brewing like for the last few days. You probably have too. Things coming up and rising, showing you what needs to be released. The other 2 things to consider whenever coming into any full moon, but especially into this eclipse, is what sign is the moon in? And the moon's in Taurus. And what sign is the sun in? And we are in the Scorpio mansion at the moment. So they're all the things to consider as I just sort of take you through what things to think about over the next couple of days and how you can best use the energy to serve you the most brilliantly. So yeah, I mean, the thing with Taurus, for those of you that don't know what Taurus is all about self-security, feeling at home in ourselves, feeling good with who we are, and finding the balance in that. So there will always be some work around sort of self-care, self-love, and highlighting those places where those securities aren't true. So if there's a place in your life that's not probably got the most sturdy of foundations, if something's rockable at the moment, it's when you might see that wobble. And actually what Taurus is encouraging you to do, the Taurus moon is encouraging you to do, is get rid of it. And under the full moon, get rid of it. You can start to release stuff now that doesn't have a solid foundation for you to blossom and bloom and grow from. So that's, yeah, Taurus moons are beautiful. But if you're not living in alignment, you've got a lot of things that aren't serving your core purpose, your truth, your roots, your core, you know, they'll become evident during a Taurus moon. And yes, we're in the Scorpio mansion as well. So what that means is with Scorpio, there's lots of kind of passion, but also the darker, deeper depths. I often struggle with Scorpio because we go down, and with Scorpio you go down and come up and go down and come up, and that's what Scorpio has the capacity to do. It's like get down into the darkness and then bring that back up with you out of the darkness, and then go down again and come back up. And that's the beauty of Scorpio. It's comfortable dipping down into those dark and gloomy places. So putting all of that into the mix, you've got Scorpio that's happy dipping down into those dark and shadow aspects of who we are. And then you've got Taurus, which is all about getting the foundations right. And then you've got the full moon eclipse, which is all about letting go and releasing. How perfect is this cocktail? So you can see what's on tap here for us to sort of lean into and release and let go of. What stuff is not serving your core purpose? What stuff is not allowing you to feel really great in who you are fundamentally? What stuff is not serving you to feel secure and feel wonderful with who you are right in the core? And this is a really great weekend to recognize that, to journal, write this stuff down over the weekend if you can. Light some candles, think into these things, what's not serving me, What is it at my core? The other thing that's a really great thing to focus on during a Taurus moon is financial abundance. So if one of the stories for you is money, if you have a problem around money and security, it's a great time to get into that. It can be anything. It can be anything, but particularly it's great for money and those kinds of material things, because Taurus is about material stuff. But it all needs to be an extra add-on rather than the thing that makes you happy. It needs to come from this stable place of solid foundations, and then the material stuff is just the kind of stuff that Taurus likes to kind of move around in. So material things and all that stuff can be concentrated on, but must come after you've concentrated on the security and stability. Just making sure that you're not tipping into being satisfied and getting your feelings of wholeness from material stuff. Just be careful of that under a Taurus moon. What was the other thing? Taurus is also ruled by Venus as well, so lots around love and around relationships and stuff too. So if there's anything, again, that's not serving you there, that's not serving you in that core, in that stability, have a look at how you can make the change. Like I said about the material stuff with Taurus, just making sure that is not something that you are completely focusing on. The same can be said of things that you need to let go of. Under a Taurus moon, you can sometimes get your head in the sand a bit if it's too difficult for you to look at. But because Scorpio's in the mix as well, it's really going to be a lot easier for you to look at those sticky places and those sticky situations at the minute. So just really journal into those things. And then once you've kind of done that bit of work where you've journaled into those things and you have, you realise that you might already know, it might be dead obvious to you, but just, take the time, because there might be some things, the obvious stuff is the stuff that comes up all the time, but the less obvious stuff is the stuff that you can journal on, meditate on, get into, just do some bee breath. It's a great one that I always tell people to do. 5 minutes of bee breath and your mind's completely quiet. Journal from there. It's a beautiful experience and just often can turn up some things that you hadn't thought was at the surface. And the last thing I wanted to talk to you about was the wormhole situation. So I don't know if you know about the concept of this wormhole. So we're in eclipse season now, and this is we have them every 6 months, and and sometimes there's 2, sometimes there's 3. I think even now and again there might even be 4, but it's quite rare. Anyway, this eclipse season we've got 2. This is the first one, and the second one is in the beginning of December when we come into the full moon. So in a couple of weeks, new moon in a couple of weeks' time. And in between this full moon eclipse and the new moon eclipse that's coming up in December, there's this period of time that is known as the wormhole. And I'm not great at explaining this, but the concept of how a wormhole works is that time can fold on itself. So and then one thing can go in this place and pop out that place, and when it opens back up, you've made all of this movement in that time. Don't know if I've explained that well enough, but that's how it works. So time folds over on itself, and then when it reopens again, you've made all of that movement. So that means that this period of time that we call the wormhole, the transformation or the changes or the movement in from A to B, whatever that might be for you, can be like super quick, it's super fast. It can happen in an instant because of this wormhole thing. So just be aware of anything that you might want to bring intention to, anything you might want to bring your manifesting mind to, as we come into that new moon energy at the beginning of December. We can start to really feel into that, but there could be some really quick and slick transformation that's like goes from there to there, and then poof, it's opened up again. I hope that was of use. I hope you enjoyed that. I love doing these full moon posts. That's all from me. I'm going to be running a moon group in the new year, and I'll be telling you more about that soon. Get on my mailing list if you're not already on it. Okay, love. See you soon. Take care. Mwah.